talking to them about entrepreneurship, family, and all of that. This is a book series and a podcast series that we are putting together, me and my daughters, interviewing people. And then once the book is done, we've already met Gary Vee a couple of times. We met Grant Cardone. We met a lot of awesome people. And hopefully in the next few months, we'll have the book together. So the girls, I'm in New Delhi, but the girls are right now in Vancouver and they couldn't take time off from school. And therefore, that's why they sent you the video to say, we're sorry we couldn't able to make it for this interview. That's a little bit story about us before we get started.
Well, that's great background, man. That's an awesome story too. I want to make sure that you remember to have them resend that video because I've never seen the video.
I will send it to you at the end of this call.
Beautiful. Yeah, I look forward to it, man. That's an awesome story. I think that story has just pushed me over the edge a little bit because of your daughter's ages, 14 and 10, and you're telling me that they're the ones that showed you me?
They're the one who've been doing the research, yes.
So basically that means they're watching what I've said and what I say, and that tells me if there's girls as good as yours in the world and kids as good as yours in the world, 14, 10, listening to me, I need to clean up my language a smidge. Because I'm always thinking, well, who really gives a shit? But, I'm assuming it's all adults. Like, again, if a 25-year-old kid hears me say shit and gets all offended, well, I apologize, but holy moly, it's just a word, right? It's just a word. Like, get over yourself. Like, there's bigger things to worry about than who says what word or who chooses which word to describe an emotion or a feeling. And that's why I'm like that. But 14 and 10, I'm picturing little angelic creatures that are running around, entrepreneurial, spending time with dad. And then here comes foul-mouthed Brad Lea. Oh man, I wish I could go delete all the content on the internet. However, it's that content that brought you guys to me. So that is awesome. And I think there's a reason somehow. So let's talk about that.
100%. So Brad, we'd love to get, can I start the questions?
Yeah. Is this an interview? What is this?
Yes. So this is an interview for the book, which is the Internet Moguls of the World. We put a book together, we put a podcast series together, and then at any of the large social media conferences, we'll send you everything. Once you're okay with it, we're going to launch the book. Like I said, we've got some heavy hitters we've got about 12 people out of 50. And so we got a huge support. In fact, day before yesterday, I got a reply from Ariana Huffington herself. She emailed and she tagged her assistant and she gave us access to a few of her publications where we can publish all of these stories. So we're getting support from all over the world and we really, really appreciate your time here.
Hey, let me ask you a question. How do you pronounce your name?
Avi, A-V-I.
Avi, and then the last name?
Arya.
Avi Arya. My daughter's name is Arya. She's 6. I have a 4 and a 6-year-old currently. What's funny is someone wrote, they want to talk to you about being on the cover. And I'm like, oh yeah. So I schedule time to talk to people, cover of a magazine. But if you look at all these, what do you call them? Influencers, or what are they called? Moguls of the world?
Internet moguls of the world.
Yeah. Look at this mogul, dude. This is the world's dreamiest mogul.
We saw that picture. We've been through your information.
Hey, look, I put the world's dreamiest business tycoon.
Nice.
That's because that's just a placeholder website. So, I'm a jokester, Avi, but at the end of the day, I thought this was on the cover, basically a joke almost because of that picture. Like someone said, oh, he wants to be on the cover of an entrepreneur magazine.
You know what? We can only make you a promise that we're going to go do everything in our power, and we've got very huge lists of our own. But with the support that we've got, this is going to be. Maybe if you've seen Tools of Titan, we're inspired by that guy, by Tim Ferriss. And
Tim Ferriss, I've heard of.
Right. So we're going to do something like that. This book is going to be one of a kind.
Well, it seems like everything you touch seems to turn to gold.
Well, you know what? It's because in the 6-7 minutes that I told you my story, I only told you my successes. But there've been a lot of things. Like I had 100 websites. Where are they? Most of them disappeared because I didn't do my SEO on time. Out of the 4 hotels today, we have 3. I had to sell 2 hotels because we wanted a larger piece of land in Goa. So now I've got a 2-acre humongous plot in Goa, but I've got a lesser amount of rooms, and I'm sitting on more land which is not as productive as it should be. So things are great, but at the same time, there are challenges. And I'm taking
Sure.
104 flights a year, and that's sometimes taking a toll on my health. And that's just the reality of life.
Sure. I hear you. I hear you.
Excellent. So can we get started? Just ask you a few questions here.
Absolutely.
Okay. So because, Brad, between me and my girls, we agreed on one thing. Like I said, we are business partners, so we have to get equal, agreement from everyone. So everybody agrees that for us, the definition of an internet mogul is somebody who has leveraged the internet to be able to take their brand to people who never knew them before and convert them into customers. At the same time, these are people, because they leverage the internet, they know now they can be more efficient and use the time spent efficiently with their families. So family and business is both important to them, and that's our definition of an internet mogul. So with saying that, what are your thoughts on balancing family and work and everything?
Well, being 51 years old this year, I have some pretty deep thoughts on those subjects, only because if I look back and ask myself, do I wish I would have done things different? The answer is yeah. Like, I wish I would have spent more time with the family, spent more time with the kids. But if somebody were to ask me, would you regret what you did if you weren't successful? Yes. But if someone said, what if you could go back, spend more time, but you would not be where you are today? You would have been your average Joe, your 100 grand a year or less. I don't even know what average is, but I assume it's not much money. So 60 grand a year, is that average? I don't know. But at the end of the day, if I would have had to have remained at that level, I wouldn't have changed a thing. Why? Because I can do now more for my family and loved ones than I could have done then anyway. Make sense?
100%. And I'm glad you said that, because people try to be very diplomatic and say, but somebody's got to do it and elevate everybody else to the next level.
Well, Avi, you're going to know for a fact that I'll give you real answers, whether they make me look good or look bad. I just tell the truth. And I think if more people did that, we'd be in a much better world.
100%. I like the you did with the veteran about how easy it is to make 100,000. I was loving the expression on his face when you said that.
Well, yeah, because people like to limit themselves, which is funny, man. It's almost like I don't know if you've ever seen that meme where the elephant or the bull or somebody's got a rope and it's tied to a little chair, and they don't move because it's tied to the chair, and it's like they can move the whole chair. 100%. So it's kind of like that. A lot of people have limiting beliefs. So when it comes to your first question, how do I just think it comes down to priority. Sometimes my family's priority, I'll leave work, cancel meetings. Hey, there's a daddy-daughter dance. Well, I'm not going to that event. I'm not doing that speech. I'm not having that meeting. There's a daddy-daughter dance, and I'm not missing it. So at the end of the day, I could understand if someone had to miss their daddy-daughter dance, meaning like you have bills to pay, you got a family to feed. So I've spent all the years struggling to where now I don't have to miss the daddy-daughter dance. But right. Would I, if I knew for sure it would elevate me to where I wanted to go? Yes, I would make the sacrifice while they're young, but I regret making the sacrifice, meaning I wish I would have spent more time with my kids back in the day.
Understood.
But I thought, man, I need to go out here and grind. But really it was just an excuse, and I just prioritized work and money over family. And It was a mistake. So I would recommend that people really weigh that question deeply rather than just make a rash decision. And quite frankly, I would believe that if they just use this logic, the answers will be clear. If one of them had to go away and you could only pick one, which one would you pick? And if the answer is my children, well, then that's the most important thing. And use that to guide your decision-making day to day. Because again, some days, it's a priority for the kids, go home. If it's not, hey, maybe you need to pay attention to work a little longer tonight. Well, then choose work. But it's a dance, man. And everybody has their own steps and their own moves.
That makes perfect sense to me now. I'm 43 years old, and with this thought consuming my mind, it gives me a lot of clarity as well. Thank you very much.
Sure.
We often talk about the fact that when you want to meet people on this planet, we have a hashtag which we promote a lot, saying people are good, and the other hashtag is people are busy. they're good people, they want to help you, but if you get to them in the right mode. So we encourage everybody to make something that we call a hero introduction. And so that if I meet you in the elevator, or if I send you a short video or whatever, you're able to say, you know what, this is interesting, let me talk to this person. So my hero introduction is, my name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer and founder of Internet Moguls. So if you were to do your hero introduction, Brad, how would that sound?
It would sound very similar to yours. However, it would say, Brad Lea, 6 kids from 4 different women, but I can explain. Had to learn the hard way, but fortunately found my way. You know, and if you don't screw up, you won't have to catch up. So like, I could just go on, like, you know, family man, you know, love to fish, you know, ethical, fair as they get, you know, learned the hard way, bruised, scarred, but still good looking.
Lovely, lovely. I agree with the good looking part, by the way.
Oh, anyway.
Excellent. So that's so now my next question is, you know, between me and the girls, like, we are trying to get the attention of some of the heavy hitters, everybody in the world. So what we do, we developed a system which we normally, you know, we've also taught in different places. We call it the micro video mastery system. Amongst many other things, we say use videos, short videos with your hero introduction to reach out to people. Now, what would be your advice to budding entrepreneurs who are saying, I've got a great idea, but I don't know people? How has Brad Lea been able to meet people who he didn't know otherwise?
Well, obviously, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. And ultimately, relationships are the new economy. So, and I teach this and talk about this a lot. You have to, you know, have the ability to build relationships with people, because I think in the future, that's what it's going to boil down to. So the first relationship people need to master is the one with themselves. A lot of times people are not prepared to meet people and offer value because they're not valuable even to themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't have any self-worth, and they don't even realize it because it's in the subconscious. And that's what subconscious is, right? Below awareness. So I always tell people, listen, before you worry about getting rich and meeting people and doing all this, have you met yourself?
Wow.
You know, do you know yourself? And do you love yourself? And do you think you're worth it? Because you will be your biggest challenge if you haven't handled that. You understand? You are the one that are putting you out of business. You're the one that's limiting your beliefs. You're the one that is in control of every situation. But yet people will blame other people. People will blame the president. They'll blame economies. They'll blame ethnicities. They'll blame everything. When in reality, it's themselves that get to make those decisions, and they're making them. Now it makes me wonder why. Well, that's why I always talk about, listen, before I teach you how to go make kick-ass relationships and leverage those relationships, let's start by fixing the relationship you have with yourself. And that one's the most important relationship. And I've got little techniques to help people do that. But I mean, I don't know if this is going to be a magazine or a thing, but a podcast you could share would be, you know, how do you gain self-confidence and gain self-worth? Well, I believe that confidence is really just the memory of winning. So in order to win and get your mind filled with wins, you have to win, right? So we're taught to set these big, you know, crazy dreams and goals, and we never hit them. Why? Well, because we're reaching for the stars and, you know, maybe we'll hit the moon type of thing, but we're taught to set big goals. No one ever teaches us to set small, attainable goals. So I say, listen, if you want to repair your relationship with yourself, you have to, number one, forgive yourself and apologize just like you would anybody else. Number two, you have to commit to always doing what you say you're going to do. That commitment is your choice. Nobody can make you do or say anything you don't want to. So if you commit to do what you say you will, just be careful what you say you will. That's all. It's easy to do. You're not the one forced to say, yes, you'll agree. You get to agree. So just commit to always do what you say, and then that will literally make you think about what you're saying yes to. And now you're instantly more intelligent, instantly. And you're more aware, and you're more enlightened, and you're more ready to actually meet people. See what I'm saying? Like, just like that, you're ready to go. Now, step 3 is to set 10 small goals. Attainable goals. I want wins, brother. I don't want almost, man. Try harder next time, loser. No. I want you're a winner. You're a winner. You're a winner. You're a winner. We got to get the repetition. We learn by delivering 4 key critical elements. There's 4 pillars to learning. If you're not using these elements, then you're not really learning. You're just kind of being exposed to information. That's good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. So all of those have to be present. So ultimately, you set 10 small goals that are attainable, and every day you do what you say you're going to do from that day forward. So you go and you start winning 10 times a day, every day. Well, guess what that means? That means you're a little better today than you were yesterday, because your goals should be a little bit higher than they were the day before. And then you do it with consistency. And then what happens is you start to recognize people that pop up and say negative stuff. Like, what's up, Avi? You think you're too cool to hang out after work for a couple of beers, bro? And all of a sudden you start identifying where the negativity is coming from, and you block that. And you just continue that with consistency. In about 60 to 90 days, you're going to start feeling like you deserve a little more, which is funny because you do deserve a little more. Right. And you'll start to realize that you're not in the situation you want to be in. And instead of sitting there bitching and complaining, you won't. You'll be solution oriented. You'll be like, well, how do I, and then all of a sudden you're going to start demanding more respect, deserving more respect. You're going to start actually knowing that you're worth something more than you did 90 days earlier. And if you consistently do that every single day, you will sit taller, walk taller, and literally love yourself more and repair that relationship with yourself, which most people are sabotaged by. Most people are sabotaged by themselves. So anyway, you fix that first, and then you go start to meet other people. And that's the money relationships. And yes, I teach people how to make flawless introductions. There's 6 steps, basically. The first step is preparation. Part of what I described is more in your preparation. You have to be prepared before you go to a party. Let's say I'm going to a party. Let's say you have a party with all the internet moguls, okay? And you invite me because I made the cut, okay? And so I show up there. If I'm prepared, I'm showing up there already knowing who I want to meet. I've already Googled them. I've already found out. I've already made an assumption on how I can provide value to them. I'm not looking to sell them anything. I'm not looking to get anything. I'm looking to give. I'm looking to help. I'm looking to ultimately introduce myself and build a relationship. Money and that may or may not come, but I'm looking to, hey, how do I establish a relationship with Avi? I know who you are. I think I know how I can help you. I don't make you tell me how I can help you. And then I start helping you. But the introduction, a lot of times people are like, yeah, but I don't really know what to say. Well, you got to go back in step 1. That's because you don't know what to say because you don't know yourself. You don't know what to say because you don't like yourself. You think, well, who am I? If you're thinking in your head, who am I? Who am I? I'm just a teacher. Okay, well, first of all, you got to realize you're a single individual out of billions. Nobody's like you. You're the most unique person on the planet. We all are. So instantly, you're already interesting. No one's like you. Okay, good. Well, you don't like yourself. That's why you're wondering why you should even be in that damn party. You can't walk in and make friends with high-level people unless you are a high-level person. Okay, people ask me, what's the best way to get connected to these, influencers? And I said, become one. You become one. And then people are like, well, I'm just a teacher. See what I mean? Your mind's messed up, brother. You got to fix the relationship with you. That's why that's most important. So remember that, highlight that. You got to fix you first. Now, once you are fixed, now you got to go out and make introductions. And if I were you, I would just be prepared. Step 1, be prepared. And then you make introductions, ultimately with authenticity and sincerity. I mean, go read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. People like to talk about themselves. You want people to talk about themselves. That's in the gathering intel phase. You want that to happen. So ultimately, most people stop that from happening because they want to be heard. Well, why do I come in here and want to be heard so much? Well, because it's really important that you all hear what I have to say. Well, when you're building a relationship, it's not important what you have to say. You already know everything you know. If you're saying it, you're not learning anything.
Right.
So you keep your mouth shut and you listen a lot and you ask great questions and you actively listen to the answers and you provide value. And then sometimes, dude, it's just not going to happen. Meaning, you know, you're 23 and the person you want to hang around is 65 and all his friends are 65. And, you know, why hang around a 23-year-old permanently? Well, I don't know. It depends on the human beings. But my point is sometimes it's just not a match. And you can't feel rejected. That's why you got to fix that relationship with you. I've seen people go in and try to be buddies with some big names, and they don't get to, and it makes them almost depressed, like they want to give up. Like, I'm not likable. No, man. See what I mean? Fix the problem with you. You're likable whether that person likes you or not.
Got it.
You know what I mean? You're likable. Like, anyway, so long way to answer a simple question. But yes, dude, I teach people that they better shake more hands, make more money, make more connections, make more impact.
Got it. So Brad, I'll come to the internet side of things. You know, we've been following your posts. Your posts are loud. They are brave. When I say loud, I mean, you know, the next word that comes with it, they're brave, because you don't seem to hold back, because you seem to be saying what you have earned. You know, I thought you were in your 40s. You said you're 51. So maybe because of, you know, I know when I was in my 20s, I said things which sounded maybe not slightly meek. As I grow, you know, into my 40s, I'm becoming stronger, because you're like, you know, you don't care about what the world says. You know what you're saying and all of that. So with you being braver as you're growing smarter, do you think that the internet is allowing you to make bigger and deeper connections with the way you use your Instagram and your LinkedIn and everything? Because you're not seeking approval, like you said. And as you're getting braver with every passing year, do you think it's easier to use the internet and get into DMs and send somebody a message saying, I want to have a coffee with you, or the way you do your Instagram posts or what of that? Because what I'm trying to get at is this program, this book will be read by, this program will be seen by people of all ages. When they are trying to get onto the internet, the first part was very well explained. You need a relationship with yourself. I'm working on that. For example, somebody is watching this, said, I'm working on that, and then gets to the next level. How should people approach Instagram and all of that? I mean, I'm not talking about a social media strategy, but from within, how do you approach? Because your posts, like, you can't just watch one. You have to see 6, 7, like binge watch your posts, because you know that, you know, you know, I'm looking for the right word. In a very respectful way, the I couldn't care less attitude, that, you know, I'm saying what I'm saying and you're not asking anybody to watch, but still people want to watch, kind of a thing. How do people get that in their posts and Instagram?
Well, only you fix the relationship with yourself. Okay. Because again, I don't care if someone's following or unfollowing, and I don't want to offend people, but all I'm trying to do, and I know what I'm trying to do, it's help you not make the same mistakes I had to. Give you tips and tricks and little tidbits that will help you. I'm looking to improve society, not destroy it. So I already know that if you follow me, I'm trying to give you value. Now, again, sometimes people will say, oh, well, you said this cuss word or that cuss word. Well, I understand, but sometimes I fail to realize there may be young adults watching me. There may be small and young children watching me. If I factored that in mentally, and I was like literally consciously aware of it every time I got on the internet, I would probably just be the same and say the same things. I'd just leave out the cuss words.
Right.
However, to answer your question, if you're not connected on the internet, it's a problem. The other day I was talking with a buddy of mine, and I'm like, you know, hey, what's your Instagram handle? And his comment was, oh, I don't do all that stupid social media stuff. Right. And I'm like, dude, that's probably the most ignorant statement I've heard in a long time. That's that stupid social media stuff. First of all, it's the internet. Okay. Social media is the internet, basically. The internet is social media. The internet is Google. The internet is Yahoo and Bing and all the connected WeChats. You know, the apps in the internet, even apps now are basically the internet. So at the end of the day, like, you've heard of WeChat or WhatsApp and all these. Oh yeah. Listen, that's where everybody is. I don't need your phone number, Avi. I've got your Instagram handle. I can find you. I can target you. I can slide into your DM and you will answer me, especially me, because I have a blue check mark. So I'm guaranteed to be seen by you. But then again, you get real big Real big, there's people in their DMs. They're not even reading them in some cases. So when you think you're sitting there talking to Gary Vee, you're not. But in Gary Vee's case, you are, because he's like me. I mean, I like answering people. I like when people ask me questions and I give them some my opinions, which is really all they are. You know, like a guy was here the other day on my podcast, Dropping Bombs. Now, this guy's kind of locally known, and actually, he's known worldwide. His name's Vegas Dave. He does sports picks. I said, I told him on the podcast, I said, dude, you're just a good guesser. Oh, no. I'm like, dude, you're a good guesser. That's all. You make educated guesses. You cannot pick a sports win. You cannot pick a sports win. And if you could, why would you be selling picks? Why wouldn't you be taking every dime you have and betting on these games? That's what I would do. If I knew who was going to win the Super Bowl, I'd take all my money and put on it if I knew for a fact. Okay, right. So if I don't know for a fact, what am I doing?
Guessing, gambling?
I'm guessing, bro. I'm saying, you know what? Based on all this information that I have, I'm pretty sure these guys will win. Well, if you listen to my podcast, Vegas Dave did a this was before the Super Bowl. I told him to tell me what's going to happen. He said the Niners and the Kansas City Chiefs will go to the Super Bowl, and sure enough, they did. And then he said the Niners will win. Bingo! You're wrong, brother. You made the wrong guess, didn't you? So anyway, the internet is how I know Vegas Dave. The internet is how Vegas Dave knows me. The internet is how I know you. The internet is how you know me. If you're not plugged into the internet, if you're not on the internet and understand how to leverage the connectivity, man, hire a mentor or coach. Reach out to Avi. You're doing it masterfully. At the end of the day, you know, if you're not on the internet, you're not plugged into the world. So again, you want to be quiet, under the radar. You want to do what you're told. Shut your mouth. Don't get in any trouble. Don't make any noise. Don't help anybody. Then get off the internet. As I say, take off the jersey. Okay, sit down, son. But if you want to help anybody, your kids, your family, if you want to help yourself, if you want to, you know, make any impact in this world whatsoever, you must be connected to the internet. And if you're not, you don't exist. If you don't have a website, you seem like a fraud.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, I remember when I was selling businesses websites and nobody had one. And they're like, I don't need one. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Within 3 years, if you don't have a website, you're gonna be out of business. And I was wrong by about 20 years. But at the end, and I'm exaggerating, but at the end of the day, you have to be plugged into the internet, Avi. You know it, I know it.
You know, you're so correct. I'll tell you what's happening right now in this part of the world and all over the world. But I'll tell you what we did before we got on a call with you. We did between me and a couple of our buddies, we did a 10,000 people, webinar. There were 11,308 registrants and 3,500 people showed up.
How many registrants?
And 11,308 registrants and 3,000 plus people showed up. It's crazy. I was showing it. I was with my father-in-law at his house, and I was, all I had with me was my phone. I was showing him. I said, you know what? Let me go to sell. I said, this gentleman is going to sell at the end of the webinar, and he's going to make more money than people make in 5 years. And the world is crazy, but it's what it is. And it's not just one person, hundreds and thousands of people are doing it. In fact, I invite all of my guests and all of that because I'm a huge webinar guy and I love webinar. An average webinar is about 1,000 people. Today, some of my friends went completely crazy. But 1,000 people coming for a webinar, I invite my friends from all over the world saying that I'm doing a webinar twice a week. Come in, talk to people, grow your audience, sell a product if you want to. And it's just such a beautiful world. In fact, what the webinars have allowed me to do, because I can do it from anywhere. So we did an experiment. December and January, I didn't travel. I spent with the girls. I was in Vancouver, San Diego, Orlando, New York, and then back to San Diego, Vancouver, and then back to Delhi. And I was with the kids all the time, and we were doing webinars from all over the world and handling people on Zoom calls. What an era to be alive in. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. More connected than ever before, man. It's a beautiful time to be alive.
100%. Brad, this brings me to a question. You said have a relationship with yourself. You said go ahead and meet as many people as you can. You said use the internet. All of this requires a lot of energy. So what is your personal relationship with the gym or just health in general?
Well, I believe health is the most important, because obviously if you have all the fame in the world or all the money in the world or all the, love in the world or whatever it is you think's awesome in the world, as soon as your health goes, you don't care about any of it. So my relationship with health is moderation. In other words, if I have to live without having some blue cheese dressing on a wedge, then you know what? Kill me now. But at the end of the day, I think there's moderation. Have the blue cheese, have the little slice of cake, but get your big fat ass to the gym and don't hate yourself. The reason why people are 400 pounds, their relationship with themselves, right? They eat to be comfortable. They eat because it makes them feel good, because they cannot find that feeling elsewhere. Now, again, I love food. Like, are you kidding me? Man, I could eat all day. I would eat all day, but my mind won't let me. Why? Because everybody knows you shouldn't. I mean, when it boils down to it, it's really just a matter of choices. The choices you make determine the road you'll take. At the end of the day, it boils down to right and wrong. Everybody's born, I believe, with the inherent ability to choose between right and wrong. Like the vegans say, you put a baby in a crib and with an apple and a bunny rabbit, that baby, you'll never come back and see that baby ripping apart that bunny rabbit and eating it. Okay, it's going to eat the apple.
That's right.
Well, it's because the whole vegan argument. We're not meant to eat animals necessarily, but I eat them. Why? Well, they're already dead. They're prepared. They're delicious. Now, if someone came along to me and said, "Do I think that we were born to be meat eaters?" I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. All I know is this. It's a good analogy because, I think our innate internal ability tells us if we're right or we're wrong. And if someone can just quit worrying about the big decisions, right, and make the small decisions correctly, the big ones aren't so big anymore. They just naturally take care of themselves. In other words, just make little baby decisions well, and the big ones will make themselves.
Awesome. I like that. That is very powerful. We asked for 30 minutes. We've already run over. I have 3 short questions before we finish this. What is your definition, Brad, of how would you define an internet mogul?
I would define an internet mogul as somebody who has leveraged the internet extremely well to enrich themselves and others. But the word enrich would be defined as impact. Like, I don't think, I know for a fact that anybody that follows me that uses the information they'll pick up will have a better life than if they didn't implement that information. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, the nuggets I'm dropping make an impact. Some huge, some not so huge. Like, for example, if I teach you how to make 20% more income, and I'm talking to someone that makes $1 million a year, well, I help them make 200,000, where someone else, still 20%, right? But they only made 30,000. So I'll need to help them make a little bit more. So it's all relevant what I'm saying, but to me, I just try to drop the knowledge, and I think that the impact that it has is proven. And I think that's what everybody's obligation should be. Help the next person not have to do what you did. And eventually the world's going to be a better place.
Awesome. Love that. Okay. My second last question is, your message to the girls. Like I said, Raya and Aviana, they're not here, and I'm sure they're in school right now, but they're not in school because they're going to send me a WhatsApp message very soon. How did the interview go? And so your message to the girls. I mean, they're my co-founders in the venture.
Well, I would say, man, I wish I had the parenting you're apparently getting. Number 2, I wish at 14 and 10 years old I was aware and enlightened as you already are. I can't wait to see what kind of impact you have in the world. And I'd just say, keep it up and God bless you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And my last question is, Brad, for all of us who are watching, can you, if you don't mind, can you hold up your Instagram handle with your blue tick so people can, we can take a screenshot and people can follow you when we post this everywhere?
Yes. Although I may not have access to it because that makes me not the real Brad Lea. No, I'm just joking. There's a fake Brad Lea out there. It's pretty funny. Hey, just on the side, you can go check it out. It's pretty funny though. The fake Brad Lea. Here we go. How does it show the blue check mark? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Alrighty. Perfect. I can give you my handle. The girls are there as well.
What is it?
Ask Avi Arya. AskAviArya.
Damn, you got the blue check mark and everything, dude.
Yes, sir.
You're just Mr. Cool. Dude, you're on the cover. You should be on the cover.
I think I will be somewhere there with just at the bottom. I'll show you the cover. We haven't showed the cover to anyone. It just came out today and we're not releasing it anywhere, but I'm going to show it to you right here because we're very proud of it and it's looking amazing. And so that's how it is. And if you can see yourself, I don't know, but this is how the cover looks. Internet moguls of the world with me and my two girls dancing there. And if you can see Grant Cardone, you're right there besides Grant Cardone and Randy Fishkin and all of these awesome guys.
My man, Grant. Gary V, you guys got some good ones on there, man. I'm honored to be in the mix.
Not at all. Thank you. And you know what? Like I said, my last question is, what do you do and how do you help people? I see Lightspeed and I see that you're helping some very large companies and some heavy hitters, some celebrities. So people who want to get in touch with you, how can you help them? And what's the right way for people watching this if they want to have a business transaction with you?
You know, my mission in life is to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. I've chosen to do that because I think that's the reason people fail, and the biggest impact is going to be at education. So ultimately, I developed Lightspeed VT, which is an interactive learning technology that I licensed to subject matter experts to help train employees and fans, et cetera, monetize their knowledge. And then I also help companies develop a training program that works. Most companies are training people ineffectively, spending a lot of money to do it. And I want to stop that because it's making a big impact in turnover and productivity. So ultimately, I invented a technology. That's my big claim to fame that helps a lot of people train people better. So if you need help training people better, or you'd like to produce more with less liability, et cetera, I can help you with that. Develop a world-class training program. And I can also help figure out if you have some sort of knowledge in your head, how do you make it available to other people? Again, I've got courses on sales, closing, and persuasion. I've got people training on it in China, Australia, Japan. I mean, I can help people take their music and get it heard and accidentally make some money at the same time. And again, people that hate on money, you won't have much if you continue to do that, folks. Every time someone brings up money, everyone's like, oh, it's not about the money. You need to make it about the money, okay? Because the money allows you to do some really powerful things. And when everybody's like, oh, it's not about the money, I just want to be helpful. Well, helpful doesn't get you there, okay? Money does. If I had $100 million I could afford to drop on internet advertising, by the end of this year, I would be the biggest known person in the world.
Yeah.
If I spent $100 million. Right. Problem is I don't monetize it. You don't see a bunch of ads coming out of my account. Why? Because I don't sell you shit. Like if I were monetizing it well, you'd see me spend the $100 million to get known. And again, that's the biggest, most powerful thing right there. Somebody with money from something else, whether it be, your dad gave you a bunch of coin or you made a bunch of coin and now you're just rich, but nobody knows you. I can get you famous. How? Internet, baby. Internet. So if you want to find me, just reach out to bradlea.com, L-E-A, or just the Real Brad Lea on any social media, or just Google. Like you'll find me. Lightspeed VT if you want to train people better or monetize your content.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. Brad, thank you very much. Apologize for the 10-15 minute delay in the beginning. Thank you very much. I'm sure the girls are going to appreciate this. Like I said, God has been very kind to us. We've been able to build a team of almost 400 people in 3 of our small companies. I live between Vancouver and New Delhi. and we've got a small place in Goa as well. So anything that we can do for you in these two cities, you always have a friend. Just reach out, whatever we can do. Like I said, we're very well known for our webinars that we monetize very well. Anytime you have a product or service, you want to get to know a couple of thousand people over Monday night webinar, just shoot me an email. We'll schedule you in.
Likewise. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Avi.
Not at all. Thank you very much for your time. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Take care.